Hey guys, welcome to the Common Sense Football Show and welcome to today's show. Today we're going to recap yesterday's fantastic Champions League fixtures, which were Bayern Munich versus Manchester City and Inter Milan versus Benfica. We're also going to go through a subject that popped up in my mind recently watching the Napoli AC Milan game, and that is why can't Timori get in the England team, and also why doesn't Timori get much credit from sports media outside Italy, especially in England, and also pundits. So we're going to go through those things today. First things first, yesterday's Champions League games. We had Manchester City versus Bayern Munich in Munich. Great game. It finished 1-1. Haaland scoring and Kimmich equalising with a penalty. Bayern Munich played really well. They really went for it. Leroy Sané again was a constant threat in the first half, having a couple efforts saved. Bayern Munich played well. They just didn't take advantage of their opportunities when they came. Manchester City getting a penalty, which Haaland surprisingly missed, skying it over the crossbar, but he did make up for that with a goal later on in the game. I don't want to single anyone out, but Upamecano, he's a very, very good centre-back, but yesterday he didn't have his best game. He didn't have his best game at all. He almost got sent off if it wasn't like for being offside. One of the Manchester City players were offside, or he would have got sent off. And for Haaland's goal, he seemed to have slipped underneath his studs. Haaland took advantage and slotted the ball away cool, as Haaland does. 48 goals this season, absolutely incredible. He's well on course for 50. What a phenomenal debut season for Erling Haaland at Manchester City. Bayern Munich did manage to equalise late on in the game. It was a handball that basically wouldn't have been given in seasons gone by, but now, especially in Europe, the officials are so strict that any contact by the hand in the box, even if it's point blank range and the defender's not trying, it's not deliberate, and even if the hand is in a natural position, more time they're given. So it was a handball that I don't think should have been given. A lot of pundits don't think should have been given, but it was given according to the laws of the game at this precise moment in time. And Kimmich slotted that penalty away coolly, but it was too little too late. Manchester City winning 4-1 on aggregate. Sané came off for Mane. It was good to see Mane coming on and them two exchanging a little high five as they swapped. Hopefully that beef is done and dusted now, and Bayern Munich can move forward and try and fight Borussia Dortmund for the Bundesliga title. As for City, another semi-final for the Manchester club. They'll be going up against Real Madrid, a repeat of last year's semi-final. I'm tipping Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid have the beat in the Manchester City. I think Real Madrid are better on paper than City. They are far more experienced than City, and that team is full of stellar winners who have won it all, been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and they're just full of experience. And I think that midfield of Valverde, who I think is tremendously underrated, but as a phenomenal player, a truly world-class midfielder, and Modric, who's a legend of the game, and Toni Kroos is also a legend of the game. I think they will have a bit too much know-how and experience and quality for Manchester City. But we can't write off City. It's a 50-50 game at the end of the day. I'm just tipping Real Madrid to have too much for Manchester City over two legs. But it won't surprise me if Manchester City do beat Real Madrid. They were very close last season in the Champions League. They didn't take their chances, and Real Madrid were clinical as always. This time, they've got the goal machine, Erling Haaland, who will take those opportunities if they arise. So Real Madrid have to be at the top of their game, not in cruise control as they've been against Chelsea and Liverpool in the last knockout games previously. They need to be at the top of their game, playing to 100% of their capabilities if they stand any chance of beating Manchester City, because Manchester City are bringing their A game in Europe and domestically, and that's a tie that I look forward to hugely. Carlo Ancelotti versus Pep Guardiola again. Let's see who gets the upper hand out of those two legendary coaches. We also had Inter Milan versus Benfica. Fantastic game, 3-3 on the night. Inter Milan started really well. They got the first goal courtesy of Barella. He's a fantastic midfielder, amazing midfielder, a midfielder that I put in really, really high regard and should be a target for some of the English clubs. He will, demand he will be very expensive and he will cost a lot of money. But, a lot of the English clubs do have that money, and he's a very, 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 very good midfielder, top quality midfielder, one of the best midfielders in the world, world-class midfielder. He scored a very, very good goal on his left foot. Martinez also scored yesterday, a nice easy tap-in, and Correa also scored to make it 3-1. Benfica did try a fight back, goals courtesy of, I don't quite know the names, let me just have a look. Goals courtesy of Osnes, Silva and Musa. They did have a late fight back to make it 3-3 on the night, but it was too little too late, and Inter Milan going through 5-3 on aggregate. That sets up the Milan derby in the semi-finals, Inter versus AC Milan, a game that the whole of Europe and the whole of the world is looking forward to. One of the best derbies in world football, and I do tip Inter Milan just to have a bit too much for AC Milan. AC Milan are a fantastic team, beating Spurs and beating Napoli on their way to the semi-finals. They have a really, really good manager, really organised defence, and that counter-attacking sucker punch style with that organised, solid base can beat anyone. But I do think that Inter Milan will have a bit too much quality, especially in the attacking third and in midfield. Inter Milan are a very good team. They've got a very good defence also and a very good goalkeeper in Onana. So I do think that Inter Milan will beat AC over two legs, but again, 50-50 game. Let's see what's going to happen in that amazing semi-final. So that's the Champions League semi-final set up. Real Madrid versus Manchester City and Inter Milan versus AC Milan. So on the subject of AC Milan, they have a really good centre-half who plays in the base of their team, in the spine of their team at centre-half, and that is Timori. Timori has been one of the mainstays and been one of the key ingredients to the resurgence of AC Milan, winning Serie A last year and getting in their first semi-final of the Champions League since 2007. You could say that they're back because they look really, really good, and Timori has been a massive part of that resurgence. But for some reason, he doesn't get in the England team. And I just, I was thinking about it yesterday. And that's why I want to have this conversation with you guys. And I want you guys to tell me what you think. How doesn't Timori get in the England team? Now, I remember, I don't really rate Gareth Southgate. I think he's an absolute crap manager. He's rubbish. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He's tactically inept. And he's just extremely lucky that during his championship runs in the Euros and the World Cups, those tournaments he's been in, he's had extremely easy runs, and when he plays anyone decent, England inevitably lose and get knocked out. So he ain't that good in the crunch games. And he also said that he would pick players on form. Now obviously things changed. He's sort of turned England into a club team, sticking with players that he knows and he trusts and haven't let him down and haven't let England down. But surely Timori must get in the England team. Now for me, he's one of the best centre-backs on the planet. He's definitely the best English centre-half. And I just don't understand how he doesn't get in the England team. Even, if England play a 4, Timori should get in. If England play a 3, 3 centre-halves, they play at 5 at the back with 3 centre-halves, Timori should get in. Either in a 2 or either in a 3. Timori should be one of those centre-halves. Along with probably, in my opinion, Ben White, John Stones. I would have Timori. If England are going to play 3 centre-halves, I would have Ben White, John Stones and Timori. And if they're going to play 2, I would have John Stones and Timori. Simple. Now, I don't want to dig out Maguire. You know, people that know me personally, no, I don't rate him. I think he's absolutely crap. But then again, I'm smart enough to know in football's all about systems. And in the right system or the right league, he would play his best football. In England, in the pace of the English league and how all the best teams want to play, playing a high line, pushing up, pressing, starting the press from the attacking third. So that means the team has to push up, and that means a high line, leaving space in behind. That exposes centre halves like Harry Maguire, because he's slow, he can't turn, he's not mobile. Yes, he's good in the air. Yes, he's strong, but he doesn't have the physical capabilities, and he doesn't have the awareness like a Per Mertesacker did, because he was slow, but he had the awareness in order to cut things out and to know where he was and to anticipate and to make decisions like a John Terry, because he was also slow. He weren't the slowest. He's one of the great centre-backs of all time. He weren't the slowest, but he had fantastic anticipation. So a Per Mertesacker who was slow, but his anticipation was immense. Maguire doesn't have that. So he's better off going to a team in the Premier League that will sit a bit deeper, like a Spurs, or go to a league like the Italian league where he can play in teams like an AC Milan, like an Inter, like a Roma, who will play more defensively according to his strengths. I mean, I think that Maguire would be great for Roma and Mourinho, because Mourinho will get the best out of Maguire. And also the Italian league is slower than the English league. So his weaknesses won't be, shown and magnified so much. But comparing Timori and Maguire, Timori is better than Maguire in every way. He's got the strength. He's faster. He anticipates things better. He's got a better brain for the game. He's just a better all-around player and defender. He's got a better touch. He's got all-around better qualities and better footballing game and IQ than Maguire. He's been part of a championship winning team. He's part of a Champions League semi-final team in AC Milan. And Maguire, since he's been at United, he's had no success. Yes, he's won a Carabao Cup now, but that's down to Ten Hag. Since Ten Hag has turned up, he's changed things up at United. He's completely transformed the club. And part of that transformation has been getting Maguire out and getting defenders that he wanted, like Martinez, and playing them alongside Varane and getting Maguire out. So really, Maguire isn't part of the success at Man United, even though he might get a Carabao Cup, or he will get a Carabao Cup trophy and maybe a couple more. So how does that make sense? Maguire has hardly played this season, and yet he still gets in ahead of Timori, who's been a mainstay of AC Milan for the last couple of seasons, contributing to success. I just don't understand. We all know that Southgate has his favourites, but if you take favouritism out of it and you look at just the footballer and their qualities, Timori is a far superior footballer in every facet than Maguire. And Timori doesn't get enough credit from the English media and pundits. They hardly talk about him, how phenomenal he is. I mean, he shackled Victor Osimhen, one of the highest rated and best goal scorers in Europe, one of the best strikers in the world. He basically, nozzled him and kept his chances minimal. Victor Osimhen had one chance which he put away later in the game, but the way Timori marshalled him, the whole game was fantastic. We all know Maguire ain't going to do that with Osimhen. So, I want to know what you guys think. Maguire or Timori, who's a better player? Who should start for England? I think I know the answer for most of you guys. But, if England wanna be successful, first Southgate needs to go. And yes, I understand there needs to be a nucleus of players within the England team that give cohesion. But, chalk and cheese between Timori and Maguire. One is top quality. I would say Timori is a world-class centre-half. He's definitely one of the best in the world, and I would take him at Arsenal. And Maguire just isn't. He just ain't that. He might be good within a specific system and a coach that, you know, covers up his weaknesses and plays to his strength. But as for being a top draw centre-half in general, he ain't that. Timori is, and he can play in any system because he's top draw. So I want to know what you guys think. Timori or Maguire for England? Who's a better player? Let me know what you guys think of the video. Please smash the like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.